Saturday night in Toronto, the Vancouver Canucks lose again, and Thatcher Demko gets injured again. The team drops a 5-0 loss at the hands of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And this is a game that feels the most embarrassing out of all the Canucks losses we have seen thus far. Good on the Toronto Maple Leafs for going out there, scoring the goals that they did. Matias Maccelli got things started 8 minutes into the first period on the power play. And oh yeah, we'll get into power plays more as this video goes on. Domi quickly made it 2-0 with just 3 minutes left in the first. He streaked down the wing, got the pass from Troy Stecher, and then fired it by Thatcher Demko. And then with 20 seconds to go in that opening period, William Nylander threads it on the backhand after absolutely embarrassing Marcus Pettersson. He drives wide on MP3, the Canucks D-man falls down, and Nylander ends up going backhand on Thatcher Demko far side. John Tavares made it 4-0 in the second period with a wrist shot in tight, little breakaway on Kevin Lankinen, and Nick Robertson, with 14 seconds to go in the third, makes it 5-0. I'm so sorry, Tom Willander, but it's not your fault. The Vancouver Canucks dropped a game that they absolutely had no business winning, and the on-ice implications are quite dire. Thatcher Demko left the game with a lower body injury. At this point, are we even surprised? Is this guy going to be able to play 50, let alone 30 games in an NHL season for the rest of his career? The Vancouver Canucks are now unequivocally last place in the National Hockey League, and they were already last heading into today's contest, but because they ended up losing today's game in regulation, they now have one more game played than the Winnipeg Jets, whom the Canucks are tied with in NHL points. The Canucks have the lowest points percentage in the league at the time of recording this audio, so they are unequivocally the worst team. But oh, Lego, why are you talking about it like it's upsetting to you? Isn't this what you wanted? Did you not want the team to tank to get a high draft pick? And yeah, that's absolutely the case, I feel. I want this team to tank. I think many fans watching these videos want the Vancouver Canucks to tank and get a high draft pick and lose more games so they can up their draft lottery odds. But what we are seeing out of this team is different from tanking. This Vancouver Canucks team is just bad. Tanking implies a committed philosophy behind the decisions that are made on this team. We're going to trade away our players, we're going to get worse, we're going to put this team in the best position to succeed long term, and that means shelling out the assets that can fetch value in return. That means putting the team in a much worse position. For a Vancouver team that still has the likes of Evander Kane, Jake DeBrusk, Kiefer Sherwood, Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson, Thatcher Demko even, it doesn't seem like they are rebuilding. They traded away their best player because he wanted to leave. Does that constitute a rebuild? I don't know. Is it too early to be critiquing the team for not making trades? I think that's also fair to say too. But at the same time, when you watch the Vancouver Canucks on the ice, you see them play off against Toronto, getting embarrassed on Hockey Night in Canada in front of the rest of the country. When you see a team get shut out on the road like they did, lose their starting goalie again like they did, and walk out of this building with a big 5-0 dud on their record, there is no fun or motivation to be had if you are watching this team as a fan. And from the way we have seen this team play out, it doesn't even look like some of the guys are poised to improving or getting any better. Brock Besser is playing probably some of the worst hockey of his career right now. Missing open chances, getting passes and bobbling the puck. He had a wide open crease from the Elias Pettersson pass earlier today and he totally flubbed it. I said this a few videos ago, I'll say it again. If that was rookie Besser who had this chance, he would have buried it. Meanwhile, on the man advantage, Vancouver had 4 power plays in the first period and nothing to show for it. In fact, they had to retreat the puck and get it in their own zone so many times because they kept on missing the passes. They just could not cohesively move anything on the man advantage without Quinn Hughes in the lineup. That guy's not a Canuck anymore, by the way. No disrespect to the young guys on this team that are trying to pull their weight and that have not been perfect. I'm not going to say that Tom Willander, Elias Pettersson, Zeev Buium, I'm not going to say these guys are perfect, but these guys are young, and there's going to be a learning curve there. And oh yeah, by the way, they're half the decor on the team right now when P.O. Joseph is not in the lineup. The saying goes that you can never get a player to tank. You will never be able to convince an NHL player to play less hard, to not try, to not be able to do what they need to do. You're never going to convince an NHL player to take it easy. But for whatever reason, it feels like the collective body that the Vancouver Canucks are as a group of guys on a hockey team, they take it easy. And that's even without the tank. That's still with all these veterans going on there. Are they tanking? Well, they're losing games, but is that intentionally choosing to go down this tanking/rebuilding path? No. I feel like the Vancouver Canucks are a team that's bad on accident. I mean, I'm sitting here talking about it. It doesn't seem like something I should be upset about. I'm just trying to make a narrative for all of us who are here at late at night wanting to talk about the Canucks. But this team has provided so little this season as an entertainment product and as a meaningful use for many of us in our time. Jason Bruff tweeted out that it almost seems unfathomable that all three of Pettersson, Besser, and Demko will be back on the team next season. And when you think about it like that, you think about where the Canucks are and the players that are supposed to be the leaders, the game winners, the top dogs, minus a Quinn Hughes. I think this comment on Reddit by Paper Moonshine essentially sums it all up. The Canucks' OG core group of Brock, Petey, and Demko now have chronic injuries and are a shell of themselves before the age of 30. It's disappointing that this core's peak was Game 7 of the second round. And twice, might I remind you. Twice. They were in Vancouver the other day, and I have a lot of once friends who ended up going to that concert. But anyways, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Vancouver versus Toronto. The Maple Leafs win, Vancouver gets shut out on the road, Thatcher Demko gets injured, and there is nothing else that I want to talk about from the game. I mean, are we surprised at this point? Probably not, but at the same time, the team continues to surprise me with how badly they can lose. It's not the fact that they do lose, it's the fact that they lose this badly. 5-0 and they absolutely look hopeless, nothing's going their way, a big injury, and they're continuing to mess up their chances? Yeah. That's Canucks hockey, baby. 2025-2026, let's go! Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.